So I just got done watching the new episode of Boruto, and unfortunately, I think it was trash. So I don't want to talk about that, and instead, I want to talk about last week's episode and some of the new characters that were introduced. This Team 25. So you have Houki. I don't know last names, but you have Houki, the Kakashi fanboy. I believe the girl's name was Hako, the one with the doll, the puppet. And then you have Ringa, the super strong guy with the shield. And I think I heard somebody say that they're like a team of underdogs. I kind of like that description for them. But really, why they stand out to me personally is because they're a team that doesn't really have any prodigies on it. If you look at the other teams, everybody from or if well, all right, I'll just explain it. So you have Sumire, who's like a prodigy on her team. And then you have Boruto, who is a prodigy on his team. But let's be real, that whole team is full of like OP ninjas. You have Sarada, who's clearly above regular Genin level, Mitsuki, who's clearly above regular Genin level, and Boruto, who's clearly above regular Genin level. But then you also have Shikadai, who is a prodigy in his clan. They say the best prodigy from his clan. I'd argue that Chocho is the same because the technique that she uses where she makes herself slimmer is an advanced Akamichi clan technique, and she's using it at a very young age, like on the regular. So I'd argue that she's a prodigy of her clan as well. And then what's the other team? You have Dinky, who is a prodigy when it comes to technology, and that's the future of the village, and everything's becoming technological. So I feel like he's gonna have play a big role in the later on series as well. So you have all of these prodigies running around, and then you got this Team 25, the team of underdogs, which doesn't really have any prodigies, but still has a bunch of interesting characters. You have the houki with photogenic memory, which I think is going to play a big hand later on. I think that's going to be like the big draw that character has, is that he never forgets anything. It's going to be really important. That's a good skill to have even in like regular life. And then you have the Hako girl, I believe that's her name. The way that she's able to perceive things, it's almost like she can read people's minds. And I think that's a really good ability. But I'm really more interested in her puppet, and if we're going to see that evolve and like be fleshed out in any way as we get more character development from this girl. I want to see that puppet fight. Like I want to see her in a scuffle or some type of battle and see how she utilizes that puppet, because that to me is an interesting like gimmick for a character. And then you got Ringa, who is super buff, so you know he could probably get in a good punch or two. But they say that he's the defensive type and that he's never really been known for fighting. So I kind of like his shield and it looks really powerful. I want to see that shield tested and what its actual limits are. Just throwing out an example, I doubt that it could withstand this, but to see it go up against a tailed beast blast would be kind of like a good test of power to me. I would expect the shield to get blown away, but if it managed to withstand that, it would really say something for the power of that shield. So I don't know what they're gonna do with the power scaling of these characters, but I think it's a nice little team. I like their backstory too. They get stuck on D rank missions because they don't really have any. They don't really got anybody to put them on the right path. Their sensei got injured, so he put him out of commission. And you have Houki stepping up, trying to be like the new team leader, showing bravery and all that stuff. And I think that Sai becoming the new team captain, I didn't really like it, but I do think that's a way that's gonna throw them more into the main cast. because if you look at this team beforehand, they've always kind of been like background music, background noise, or whatever. And it could have been because of who their team captain was. Maybe there was just no involvement with the other students, the other teams. So with Sai becoming the new team leader, I think they're gonna be set on more missions and stuff with the rest of the guys. And so I think it's gonna be interesting to see like back and forth with the other characters. It's shown that Boruto already knows this team, like knows who these guys are, and that doesn't surprise me. Boruto tried to be friends with everybody, so he would be the one that like, oh yeah, I know you, blah blah blah. But I don't think everybody knows this team. Like the way that it was kind of shown to me, or the way that I perceived it, is they're the forgotten teams. Since they're the underdog, whatever, they're the ones that get left behind. And I don't know. I want to see where they compare to these other teams, because these other teams, from what I've seen, are just full of like splendid shinobi, prodigy, ninja. And so this team doesn't really have anybody like that, and I like that aspect to them. Um, Another thing about the Boruto series, though, and just my personal opinion, is I feel like this series should kill off a lot more characters. It's just a personal opinion I have. So I think this team is in jeopardy of not surviving to the end of the series. And that would be kind of crazy to see, because we've never seen a full team like get wiped out. So if that were to happen, I would I would expect it to be this team, and so that would be interesting to see play out as well. To see maybe like Kakashi's response, especially because there's some type of bond formed at this point. He knows Houki. He looks out for him, or he looked out for him on this episode. So to hear that something happened to his team, I'm sure it would affect him, and to see other people's reactions as well. We don't really know much about this team, but I feel like it could really. I think deaths in this series would really bring up a lot more hype for it, and so that's just something that I want to see. But I won't always throw my opinion in of like, oh, this person should die, this person should die, whatever. But yeah, I like the new team, and also I want to see who else is involved with this team. I want to see their previous team captain and who it was that was injured, because it's more lore for this team, and I don't know if it's important or not, but we know nothing about these characters, so if they're going to start being implemented or whatever, I think that's something that should be addressed, is who was their sensei before Sai took on the role. And it might not be important, but that could be a nice little like spin, something that you can do to bring interest to these characters. Um, I would say, in my opinion, it would just be best to put them on like a dangerous mission or whatever with Boruto, and see how they prevail, and see how they actually do on a higher rank mission, because all they've been getting is D rank missions prior to this point. So to be on a mission with Sai as their captain or whatever, and maybe Boruto or Sarada join along because they're they're like the main protagonists, it would be dope to see like an arc around them. We've already had like an arc with other teams and stuff, so it wouldn't be anything really new, but these are new characters, so you gotta throw them in there at some point. But anyway, that's just my opinion on these new characters. I want to see more from Hako more than anything. Ringa, I really just want to see how powerful his shield is. What's the limit before it breaks? Does it even have a limit? Can it just like block anything? Or maybe if it does break down, he'll upgrade it and get a better shield or something. I want to know more about the shield. Like that's the biggest interest to me with that character. But Hako is, I really like the puppet, and I like how she has pretty much the ability to read minds, even though she's just perceiving and like, oh, based on this and all that or whatever, this is what I can infer, or this is what I can assume. I'm just more interested with the puppetry jutsu that she has. And then houki, I'm not really interested in him right now, but I do think he has uh, a lot of character potential because since he's a fanboy of Kakashi and he wants to be great like Kakashi, I can see him putting himself out on the front lines a lot. And as long as he's got, some type of jutsu to back up, what he's doing, I'm pretty sure he can like rise to the ranks and end up being a really cool character. We haven't really seen anything from him yet. All we've seen is that he has a photographic memory, and that could be useful on the battlefield. But like jutsus wise, we don't know what type of power he possesses. So he could be even better than what he was displayed as just in that episode. But until we get more from them, I don't know. Maybe I'll do some more videos on them when they get more fleshed out. But I like how they added an additional team because if you go back to the Naruto series, there was only the 4 teams that they had, which was Kiba's team, Naruto's team, Neji's team, and Shikamaru's team. But with the new series, you got 5 Leaf Village teams, possibly even another one. I don't know. This one really kind of just came out of nowhere. But everybody's seen houki from like back in the academy days, so they knew that he was a ninja. They just didn't know where he was. But there could be another team that pops up like that as well. So we could have more than 5 teams. But right now you have houki's team, you have Denki or Iwabe's team, whoever's the team leader on that one. Then you have Sumare's team, and you have Boruto's team, and you have Shikadai's team. So, since they threw in a whole extra team in there, I'm just like, there's a lot more things you could utilize, a lot more characters that you can bring out when you're doing some of these, like, away from the Leaf Village arcs and stuff. When you're not on downtime slice of life anime, and when you're out on the battlefield, there's more characters that you can pull from. And I don't know. I'm just interested to see where all of this is going. But if you like the video, if you want to, comment or whatever, go ahead and do that. And I am Vakura Batsu. Have a good one.